Have your way. Have your way in me. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. On Wednesday, Nevaeh, her mother and I, we decided to go to the fair in Maria. And we walked in and just walked a little ways around. And I seen this stand there. And this stand reminded me of something. And I told Tanya, I said, I'm going to walk over here. And she's kind of hesitated for a second, then she followed me. And it was a stand that had a tent, had like 3 different visual little boxes to look down into. I walked over and looked down into one. Then I looked up at the gentleman and I began to give him a little testimony. I said, in 1978, I was a drug dealer. I said, and I went out to the Painesville Fair, and they had something similar to this out there. I said, it was my mother and my daughter. I pointed at my daughter. I said, her mother, she was my girlfriend at the time. I said, and this was just one of the many times that somebody witnessed Christ to me. I said, in September 15th of 1978, I gave my life to Jesus. I explained to him how that, she said, the lady walked up, she said, you said you were a drug dealer or a drug user? I said, both. I said, I was a very heavy drug user, and I was also a drug dealer. I says, and the men, my suppliers, put a hit on me, and I was in a house of 2 hitmen, but God made it look like there was witnesses that knew I was there, and they said, we'll conduct business as normal. And I said, but nothing's been normal since that day.
Praise God.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen. Young lady, she the grandmother, but she's probably a little younger than me, so I guess she's a young lady. She looked at me, she says, are you on TCT's Ask the Pastor? And I said, yeah, I'm on there. I'll be on there Tuesday. But anyway, she started sharing some things with me, and heard some problems she's having with grandchildren and what have you. She asked me for prayer. They're there to minister, but the Lord sent me there to minister to them. Amen. I went over and I prayed with her, and I seen her and her friends several times afterwards, and they were talking to me. But then we walked on up the corridor, whatever it's called, the fairway. What's that called? Fairway.
Fairway.
And we see my daughter, one of my daughter's best friends, who had been having some physical problems for close to a year now, just lightheaded and dizzy and all kinds of problems, run all types of tests, couldn't find anything. And they finally found that, one doctor finally determined that she had a concussion. And it's taken almost a year and still not healed. And so we're talking, and my daughter started talking to her sister, and I motioned for her, and she just stood there and looked at me real funny. And I walked around my daughter on the other side. I said, come on. She walked over, and I said, I want to pray for you. She's, oh, okay. So we're right on the fairway praying for her.
Praise God.
And then a little later, I'm not as young as I used to be, so I get tired a lot easier. I know that none of you can relate to that.
I can.
And so I went over, and my daughter, she wasn't feeling well, so she left, and she was going to come back a little later, and she came back later. And she was out riding rides with a couple friends. She makes friends everywhere she goes, so she was riding the rides, and I sat there and decided that I found out that they had an Elvis tribute that was going to take 45 minutes. I said, well, that's a good amount of time to rest. So I sat there, and there was a young lady in front of me, and her little girl, a little smaller than the van. Later found out she was going to be 12. She just, every time I turned around, she was looking back, smiling. Just smiling, just the sweetest little girl. Well, we got up and walked around a little ways, and she wanted something to eat. We got her something to eat. It started raining, so we headed back toward the pavilion, and we sat there. Well, we got right next to this young lady and her daughter. And it stopped raining. The 2 girls wanted to go for a ride, so we started walking. By that time, my daughter came back, and we started walking, and the young lady started telling me that she'd been, diagnosed with cancer and it was in remission and it thinks it's coming back and what have you. She said, and I never had all these things when I was a child, so I want to make sure my little girl knows what living is about. And so, I just felt I wanted to tell her to pray for her. And she, I looked at her and said, you go to church? She said, oh yeah, we go to the 58th Street Church of God. Praise God. So she asked me for my card, and I gave her the card. So, I never thought to tell her about the revival, but hopefully maybe she'll stop by. And then also, talking about, we were here last week, I put some more of this paneling up, which it doesn't look that good, but it's not a finished product yet. Our plan is to make that go all the way up the windows and cover everything, and then even the door where it don't look like a wood background, get rid of these red curtains. Sister Diana records us and puts us on YouTube, and when you put it on your computer or phone, it don't look bad, but when you put it on your 55-inch TV, all you see is like a red glare coming at you from these curtains. So we want to get rid of these curtains, but anyway, we were down here putting it up, and somebody walked in the back door.
Wow.
And Dennis said, hey, it's your friend. I said, who? And I couldn't see, I was over in the corner and I couldn't see. And he says, Dave. And it was David Lester. David Lester has throat cancer. He had surgery yesterday. He was supposed to remove the voice box and everything, so I haven't heard anything.
Jesus.
But we were here and I prayed with him and talked to him. And then he came to church and his wife came to church Sunday. But just keep David in prayer. And like I said, he had surgery yesterday. I'm not sure. I never heard any more from his wife. But just keep him in prayer that God can move on this situation.
Yes, amen.
But it just, I found it kind of funny that no matter where you go, God has a ministering opportunity for you.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
No matter where we go.
Yes.
If we're in shorts and a t-shirt at the fair, God will have something for you to play with.
That's right.
Because people need Jesus.
Amen.
Amen. People need a touch. Even those that know Him need a touch from God.
Sure.
Amen. We need a closer relationship with Him, to hear His voice and feel His presence and to know that He's moving on our behalf. And the gentleman began to tell us a story about a missionary in New Zealand that some tribesmen came and was going to kill him, and all of a sudden they ran away. And my daughter said, let me guess, there was an army standing there. And I'm like, quit messing with the man's punchline. And he said the evangelist, the missionary, seen the witch doctor many years later, and he said, why didn't you kill me? You had me dead to rights. And he says, oh no, you had a great army with you. Amen.
Amen.
And I shared with him how that, I don't know if I've ever told you this, Sharon, but most of everybody here has heard it. But, a few years ago I was sitting in the backyard, and where we live, it's kind of, the neighbors got mad, but there's a big open field over next to our house, and ever since I've been there, people go over, they must target practice, because you can always hear gunshots over there. A couple years ago, cops pulled up and said, did you hear gunshots? I says, no, but they happen so often, I don't pay attention anymore. He started laughing, said, I know, we're always getting calls, But anyway, I heard gunshots, and I'm sitting in the back on the swing praying and reading and seeking the Lord, and the devil said, you're going to catch a stray bullet one of these days.
Oh.
So I began to bind the devil, and I put an angel. I said, Lord, put an angel on all four corners of my property.
Right.
And I named over where they're going to be. Well, just a month later, a few weeks later, my daughter and my two granddaughters and my step grandson, we decided to go to Cedar Point, and we were on the cable cars, and we went to all pile in one. They said only four can go in there. So without thinking, my daughter wanted to ride with me. She let the three go in by themselves. She was about 7 at the time. And so we get in the back, and I can see my daughter's ready to have a panic attack. And I had already prayed and asked God to put the angels in that cart with the kids. And I said, don't worry, baby. I already asked the Lord to put the angels there. She said, Dad, I was sleeping the other day on the couch. She said, I heard gunshots, and I said, oh God, protect our family. And she said, I seen an angel. And she said, one was on the right corner, one was on the back corner, the other was back here, and the other one was over here. So the way she put it, by Debbie and Dad and Debbie's